There are many secrets hidden in children's cartoons, but what I discovered about Peppa Pig's family will change everything you thought you knew. Have you ever wondered why there are so many episodes of Peppa Pig, but we've never seen her baby sister Eevee until now? Well, buckle up, because the truth is way more mysterious than you think. It was a Saturday afternoon at exactly 3:47 p.m. when I was babysitting my little cousin Emma. She was watching her favorite Peppa Pig episodes on repeat, like she always does. I wasn't really paying attention until something weird caught my eye. In one of the newer episodes, there was this little pink piglet that I'd never seen before. She was smaller than George, had tiny pigtails, and was wearing a yellow dress. The strange part? Nobody in the episode mentioned her name, and she barely made any sounds except for little giggles. My cousin Emma suddenly got super excited and pointed at the screen. "Look! It's Eevee! Eevee Pig," she squealed. I was confused. Who is Eevee? I've been watching Peppa Pig with Emma for months, and I'd never heard of any character named Eevee. When I asked Emma how she knew about Eevee, she just shrugged and said, "She's Peppa's baby sister. Mama Pig told me." That night, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I decided to do some research online, and that's when things got really weird. I found forum posts from parents all over the world talking about their kids mentioning Eevee Pig, but here's the thing, there was no official information about this character anywhere. No toy merchandise, no official announcements from the creators, nothing on the Peppa Pig website. It was like she existed in this strange space between real and not real. I started digging deeper into fan forums and found something that made my blood run cold. A parent from England posted a message saying their 4-year-old daughter had been drawing pictures of the sad baby pig that Mama Pig keeps in the attic. When they asked their daughter to explain, she said Eevee couldn't come downstairs because she was different and it made Mama Pig cry. The more I researched, the more disturbing stories I found. Kids from different countries, who had never met each other, were all drawing similar pictures of a small pig character that looked sad and lonely. They all called her Eevee. They all said she was Peppa's sister. And they all said Mama Pig didn't want anyone to know about her. I couldn't sleep that night. I kept thinking about Emma's innocent comment, "Mama Pig told me." How could a cartoon character tell a real child about another cartoon character that supposedly didn't exist? Unless there was something the show's creators weren't telling us. The next morning, I called my friend Jake, who works at a local TV station. I asked him if he could help me find out more about these mysterious Eevee Pig episodes. Jake laughed at first, but when I explained everything I'd found, his voice got serious. "Dude," he said, "that's actually really creepy. Let me make some calls." 2 hours later, Jake called me back, and his voice was shaking. "I talked to someone who works in children's television distribution," he said. "They told me something that's going to blow your mind. Apparently, there are episodes of Peppa Pig that were produced but never officially released. Episodes that were deemed too sensitive for young audiences. And get this, they all featured a character that the creators decided to remove from the show." My heart was pounding. "What kind of episodes?" I asked. "Episodes about a third pig child. A baby sister who was different." The person I talked to wouldn't give me details, but they said the episodes explored themes that were considered too complex and potentially upsetting for the target age group. So they buried them. But somehow these episodes are still showing up on certain streaming platforms and TV channels, almost like they're appearing by accident. I felt like I was uncovering a massive conspiracy. How could episodes just appear by accident? How were children all over the world seeing the same character and knowing the same name? And most importantly, what was so disturbing about Eevee Pig that the creators wanted to hide her from us? That evening, I decided to do something that would change everything. I was going to spend the entire night watching every single Peppa Pig episode one could find, looking for clues about Eevee. I had no idea that by morning, I would discover the most shocking truth about the pig family, a truth that would make me question everything I thought I knew about this innocent children's show. As I sat down with my laptop and a cup of coffee at 11:23 p.m., I had no clue that I was about to uncover a secret that had been carefully hidden for years. A secret about why Mama Pig always seems a little sad in certain episodes. A secret about why there are sometimes 4 plates set at the dinner table instead of 3. And most terrifying of all, a secret about what really happened to make the creators of Peppa Pig decide that some stories are too dark to tell. It was exactly 12:15 a.m. when I found it. Hidden deep in a streaming platform's database was an episode titled Peppa's Special Helper. The thumbnail showed Peppa, George, and a tiny pink figure in the background that was barely visible. My hands were shaking as I clicked play. At 2:47 a.m., I found a leaked email from someone who claimed to work at the animation studio. The email said that the Eevee Pig episodes had tested extremely well with focus groups of children. Kids loved the character and responded positively to learning about inclusion and kindness. But executives worried that some parents might complain or that the episodes might be too educational for a purely entertainment show. The email also mentioned something that gave me chills. The child actress who voiced Eevee brought so much authenticity to the role because she herself has special needs. Her family was devastated when they learned the episodes wouldn't be released as planned. They had hoped that seeing a character like their daughter on TV would help other families feel less alone. By 3:30 a.m., I had found dozens of similar stories from parents around the world. Children with disabilities who had been excited to finally see themselves represented in their favorite cartoon, only to have that representation quietly erased. Families who had participated in the show's research and development, thinking they were helping to create something meaningful, only to watch their contributions disappear. But the most shocking discovery came at exactly 4:15 a.m. on that sleepless night. I found a forum post from a parent in Australia whose daughter had autism. The parent wrote, "My daughter keeps asking me when Eevee Pig is coming back. She says Eevee talks to her in her dreams and tells her that she's still part of the pig family, even if people can't see her on TV anymore. I don't know how to explain to a 5-year-old that sometimes the world isn't ready for stories about kids like her." That's when I realized the truth about Eevee Pig wasn't just about a hidden cartoon character. It was about how society decides which stories are worth telling and which children are worth representing. It was about the invisible barriers that exist even in the most innocent places, like children's television. But the story doesn't end there. Because what I discovered next would reveal that Eevee Pig's disappearance was part of something much bigger than just one cartoon show. At 5:30 a.m., just as the sun was starting to rise on that Sunday morning, I made my final and most incredible discovery. I found a private video conference recording that had been accidentally uploaded to a public server. It was a meeting between the show's creators, network executives, and child psychologists from around the world. In this meeting, the lead animator was explaining something amazing. The children who have seen the Eevee episodes are displaying increased empathy, better communication skills, and more acceptance of differences in their classrooms and playgrounds. Teachers are reporting that kids are being kinder to classmates with disabilities and asking more thoughtful questions about inclusion. But then a network executive interrupted. "The problem is that some parents are complaining. They say cartoons should just be fun and not educational. They don't want to have difficult conversations with their children about disability and differences." That's when the child psychologist spoke up, and what she said gave me goosebumps. "By hiding Eevee Pig, we're not protecting children. We're actually teaching them that some people should be invisible. We're missing an incredible opportunity to create a more inclusive generation." The meeting ended with a vote. The creators and psychologists wanted to release the episodes. The executives voted to keep them hidden. But here's the twist that nobody saw coming: the episodes kept appearing anyway. It turns out that some people inside the animation studio had been secretly uploading the Eevee episodes to different streaming platforms around the world. They were appearing randomly, in different countries, at different times. It was like an underground movement of animators, voice actors, and editors who believed these stories needed to be told. That's why children everywhere were seeing Eevee Pig, but their parents couldn't find any official information about her. That's why the episodes would appear for a few days and then vanish again. There were people risking their jobs to make sure that kids like Eevee weren't completely erased from their favorite show. By Monday morning at 7:45 a.m., I had put all the pieces together. The truth about Eevee Pig wasn't scary at all, it was actually beautiful. She represented something powerful, the idea that every child deserves to see themselves in the stories they love. I called my cousin Emma's mom and told her everything I had learned. When she heard the whole story, she started crying. Emma's been drawing pictures of Eevee for months, she said. She always tells me that Eevee is her favorite character because she needs extra hugs, just like my friend Marcus at school. Marcus was a boy in Emma's class who had Down syndrome. That afternoon, I sat down with Emma and asked her to tell me everything she knew about Eevee Pig. What she said absolutely blew my mind. Eevee teaches Peppa and George that being different isn't scary. She shows them that everyone needs different kinds of help, and that's okay. She makes the whole family stronger because they learn to take care of each other better. A 5-year-old had understood the message that some adults were too afraid to hear. But here's the most amazing part of this whole story. After spending all night researching Eevee Pig, I realized that the real truth wasn't about hidden episodes or conspiracy theories. The real truth was about the power of representation and why it matters so much that every child can see themselves in the stories that shape their world. I decided to share everything I had learned on social media, and within 24 hours, my posts had been shared thousands of times. Parents from around the world started sharing their own stories about children with disabilities who had been inspired by glimpsing Eevee Pig in those rare episode appearances. The story went viral. News outlets picked it up. Child development experts started speaking out about the importance of inclusive children's media. And most importantly, families who had felt invisible started feeling seen. 3 weeks later, something incredible happened. The creators of Peppa Pig announced that they would be officially releasing the Eevee Pig episodes as part of a special series about family differences and inclusion. They said that the overwhelming response from families around the world had convinced them that these stories needed to be told. But the best part came when they announced who would be returning to voice Eevee Pig, the same young actress who had originally brought her to life years ago. She was now older, but she was thrilled to continue telling Eevee's story and helping other children feel represented. So what's the real truth about Eevee Pig? She's not a scary secret or a hidden conspiracy. She's proof that sometimes the most important stories are the ones that some people think are too difficult to tell. She represents every child who has ever felt different, every family who has learned that love comes in many forms, and every person who believes that inclusion makes us all stronger. The truth about Eevee Pig is that she was never really hidden at all. She was always there, in the hearts of children who understood that differences should be celebrated, not feared. She was there in the dreams of kids who wanted to see themselves in their favorite cartoons. And she was there in the determination of artists and creators who knew that every child's story deserves to be told. And you know what? After all my research, after all those sleepless hours investigating this mystery, I learned something important. Sometimes the most powerful truths aren't scary at all. Sometimes they're just reminders that the world becomes a better place when we make room for everyone's story. So the next time you're watching Peppa Pig with a little kid, and they mention Eevee, don't worry. They're not seeing something scary or mysterious. They're seeing something beautiful, a reminder that every family is different, every child is special, and love is what makes us all part of the same big, wonderful, complicated family. And that, my friends, is the real truth about Eevee Pig. Not a conspiracy, not a cover-up, but a story about hope, inclusion, and the power of making sure everyone feels like they belong. Note, this story is based on creative theories and speculation from fans around the world. While inspired by real conversations about representation in children's media, the specific details about hidden episodes and secret uploads are fictional. The important message about inclusion and representation, however, is very real.